I have put in 1,000 hours of aim training. My aim got better, but that's not the point of this video. When I reviewed my The Final Season 8 gameplay, what stood out wasn't just better mechanics. My aiming felt less random, with more structure than before. So there was a reason it couldn't stay random. This video breaks down what actually changed after 1,000 hours of aim training. First, vertical aiming. Most shooters are built around horizontal movement, and our body is naturally better at aiming that way. So vertical aiming is much harder unless we train it on purpose. And that becomes a real problem in this game. This clip is from about 6 months ago. My tracking was smooth, but I wasn't even considering flicks. Now I react faster, and that reaction is a flick. Did my reaction speed suddenly get faster? Definitely not. Was it just the difference between dragging and flicking? That doesn't fully explain it. The real difference is entry point, reading first or reacting first. When the target jumps, I lose it from my central vision, so I try to read first, I shift my focus and start reading the jump arc. But at that moment, the target is fast and moving on a curve, which makes reading take longer than expected. By the time the reading is done, the flick distance has already increased, while the target is near a standstill at the jump peak. So what was the reading for? A slowing target doesn't actually need perfect reading. Reacting first flips the problem. Like target switching, I use peripheral vision to roughly locate the target and flick toward it as fast as I can. Once the crosshair is near the target, it's already back within my central vision. Even if the flick misses, the correction distance is short. And after the flick, the target is already decelerating, so tracking doesn't require perfect reading to stay manageable. Falling targets are simpler. The direction is already fixed, we already know it, so it becomes a speed matching problem. Once I started respecting how fast the acceleration actually is, tracking got much easier. Second, problem simplification. In this clip, I jump first, then the target jumps. If we frame this as a problem to solve, all 3 axes, X, Y, and Z, are changing throughout the clip. On top of that, there are 2 jumps, so rapid acceleration and deceleration happen back to back. So this isn't an easy problem. But even with high accuracy, my mechanics don't look impressive. That's because I simplified the problem. For the first shot, I drag smoothly and shoot at the peak of my jump. That's when my movement is slowest. The second shot looks like a diagonal microflick, but my mouse actually only moves left. Since I'm falling fast, moving the mouse downward would likely cause an overflick. So I ignore vertical control and turn it into a click timing problem instead. I missed the third shot because I didn't expect the jump and couldn't react in time. For the fourth shot, the enemy is already lined up horizontally, so I only need a horizontal microflick. The rest are basically the same, just leading shots. Instead of trying to solve everything with a gamble flick, I make the situation as simple and safe as possible, then click. If this were the old me, I would have overflicked on the second shot. On the fourth, I wouldn't have reacted first. I'd have held my crosshair around here, started reading, and forced a long diagonal flick in a single motion. And when it failed, I would have blamed my worn mousepad, because I had plenty of successful flicks before. Looking back, those past successes were either easier cases, or just gambles that happened to work. Most in-game situations are mixed. Distance, speed, acceleration, timing, everything overlaps at once. Well-structured benchmarks are different. Problems are categorized and difficulty varies. By facing each problem, we learn how difficult it really is, why it's difficult, and which approaches actually work through repeated attempts. That kind of experience is far more reliable than in-game experience. So when I face a similar situation in-game, I can instinctively feel how difficult it is and simplify the problem based on what has worked before. In a way, I was already simplifying problems before. The real difference now is how accurately I feel the difficulty and how much I know I can handle. Let me ask you something. What feels more pressuring? A dangerous situation or a difficult shot? Lately, it's the shot that gets to me. Not the enemy, not the situation, but the mechanical pressure. Why? In game, pressure usually comes from the situation, like the threat of death or bad positioning. That kind of pressure constantly shifts, and my aim used to shift with it. When I felt safe, I played too loose, and when the situation felt bad, I sped up and started gambling with my aim. My pace wasn't matching what the shot actually demanded, and it wasn't matching my real mechanical ability. That's what made it random. Aim training feels different. There's no situation to react to, but there is still pressure. Easy targets pressure speed, hard targets pressure accuracy. No matter what, I'm always pushed toward one thing, finding the fastest pace I can actually sustain at that difficulty. That pace is what leads to my best score. Over time, pressure and pace get internalized. That's why things changed. Not because I decided to aim differently, but because I had to. Reacting first wasn't a choice, because reading slowly wasted time. Problem simplification wasn't optional, it was the only way to stay consistent under shot difficulty pressure. Those weren't separate improvements, they were all responses to the same demand, maintaining my best DPS. So what actually changed? My mechanics or the way I aim? It was me. What changed was what I feel pressure from and what I feel rewarded for. Missing feels worse than dying, and low DPS feels worse than losing a fight. Successful aim became the reward. Smooth tracking, clean clicking with high accuracy, and executing optimal pace under difficulty. Aim training didn't teach me how to aim. It conditioned me. So now I'm less driven by the situation and more able to aim at my optimal pace with consistency. I didn't plan this change. It just happened quietly over time. At some point, random responses just stopped happening. Not because they failed, but because they no longer fit. That's when I realized this wasn't about getting better. It was about becoming something else. In the end, random experience leads to random aim, and structured experience leads to structured aim.